It's a beautiful baking day, Cookie Crusaders. Coming live to you guys with some PvP action, maybe some story mode, whole bunch of things we can cover. Whatever you guys think looks fun, we can definitely get into. So first things first, we're going to go through the team comps that we have built and what I'm having the most fun with. Not necessarily what's the most powerful or the most popular right now, but at least what's going to be fun currently. And so what I've had the most fun right now with is this summoner team. So it's using Snow Sugar, Cotton, Parfait, Pumpkin Pie, and the new Wildberry. And so Wildberry is running a full almond setup. I want Wildberry to live as long as possible, so that way the most amount of stacks can be taken of damage and then reflected back in one super duper punch. And so that's why cooldown is not a huge focus here, just damage resistance, attack, and HP. If I can, I want to put it at a point where damage resistance, attack, and maybe like defense are probably going to be the biggest focus, because at 10 seconds I really don't think Wildberry needs much of a cooldown. I suppose you could put a cooldown if you wanted to get some stuns out faster, but really, if that's not your goal with Wildberry, keeping him alive and just having the most amount of damage reflected back is kind of what I find fun with him. But in addition, when his skill is going, he does give damage resistance of 15% to the entire team, and so that's what's really fun. Then we got Snow Sugar. High damage resistance focus here. Not perfect. 30% is as high as we can get. We got 26.6. But we do have a lot of focus on attack and attack speed. So that way Snow King can come out and do as much as damage as needed. If I could optimize this better, I would, instead of attack speed, do the cooldown of 7.6%. Obviously 10 is the max, but that is what I would go for. So that's how I'm going to try and push Snow King just a little bit further. And then what we want to push next is that cooldown, because if we can get that cooldown lowered, then Snow King's going to have quite a lot of power in this team as well. Third, we have Pumpkin Pie. The damage resistance is not huge here. We couldn't really get amazing toppings for Pumpkin Pie, but we are going to work on that. My biggest things I want to raise for Pumpkin Pie is the damage resistance, the attack power, and either the defense or the HP. Most likely the defense, just because HP will do good, but the defense will also do really good in the front line too, deflecting a lot of incoming hits. So it's a toss-up and tie between the two of those. Attack speed, cooldown, they're not really going to have a huge benefit either here. We could experiment with Amplified Buff if we're running Pumpkin Pie in a buff team, which technically in a summoner team that is the case, so that is something we could consider, but it's hard to get a lot of Amplified Buff stats at a high percent to where it makes a really big impact. So it's something we can consider. Cotton Cookie, we definitely need more damage resistance on Cotton. It's best we could do to keep a high cooldown for the point right now, so that's really all that's going for Cotton, is just that high cooldown. If we can get that damage resistance, it's going to make this team much more powerful. Master Uguay, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Just covering the summoner team right now. Last but not least, Parfait Cookie. We do have more damage resistance here, and still some decent cooldown. Yet again, if I could get this better, I would get the damage resistance and the cooldown raised on Parfait, and I'd preferably like the defense or attack power raised on Parfait so that the healing could be better, or there would just be more survivability. So that's the first team we're going to cover. And we're going to take that right into the arena, and we're going to see what we can beat with that team specifically. So we're going to go ahead and find... So this is likely one of two things. This is either a Kumio scam, or it is potentially a T-Knight team. Both are going to be pretty brutal against this team, so we will not run that battle against that team for now. We do have good chances against this team. here's why. This is most likely a sorbet, pumpkin pie, mid-range team that's more of a front team killer. However, it could be a Frost Queen Sea Fairy team. Now, with the power level, it's more leaning in the direction of sorbet and pumpkin pie. If it was a higher power level, I would think that it would be Frost Queen and Sea Fairy. Not the Summoner team. Makes me mad every time I lose to it. It is a good team, and I think it's making a comeback. So let's see. Let's give it a shot. I'm more than certain it's going to be sorbet here, but let's find out. And it is indeed. So even though the front team killer is really good against tanks, as you can see, the stacks are going up super high, and we're going to ricochet all that back to them. And in addition, we have all of our extra bodies coming from the summoners as well, all being powered up by Pumpkin Pie, Cotton, and the Pincushion. And so we're chipping away at them. It's obviously not immediate. Wildberry does not necessarily survive against this team because it is a front team tank killer. Like, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to take out Wildberry. But as you can see, we still have 4 of our cookies that survived this battle. And they were in the high leagues. There was nothing about their team that was weak. So that was just a really great example of how the Summoner team can pretty much handle the majority of sorbet tank killer teams. Now, Wildberry was a great addition there. Obviously not the kingpin. Snow Sugar just absolutely dominates in this comp. So this is the main position of where Snow Sugar shines, and that's why I kind of love the comp itself. But as you can see, Wildberry still did an amazing job. I mean, he took the bulk of the damage, just like Hollyberry would, and he got about an equal amount of the healing as well. So it's not that he stole all the healing, but rather he just was a great ricochet element there. The team I've been seeing people use with Wildberry was Wildberry, Caramel, Herb, Palm, and Eclair or Dark Cacao. Well, let's put that team together. Let's see what that team looks like. Seen as that is the popular one. Let's go ahead and take... What team do we want to take out? I suppose we can take this team out. So you said Wildberry. And then my Wildberry has almond toppings, which you can see right there. And they can be better. They will be better, but I have to grind out for them. So Wildberry, Caramel Arrow, Pomegranate, Eclair, and either Dark Cacao or... Oh, Dark Cacao or Eclair. Okay, so Herb is the healer. I think we're going to do Herb instead of Eclair. Double healer should be good. So we're going to take Scroll, Insignia. We'll probably go Feather, just because Feather will give us another activation on either Dark Cacao or Caramel Arrow, and the Insignia should keep our battle going. We're going to run criticals on Cacao and Caramel Arrow, and almonds on a couple others. Alright, let's see what we can get. So we could probably beat... Let's see if we have any defenses to fight. Even though it's a tank killer team, I think we have a decent chance against this. So let's give it a shot. Countdown, thanks for joining. Appreciate it very much. So we got a tank killer team here, so technically they should have the advantage on us, but let's see if we can still push through and persist anyway. So we got that heavy ricochet from Wildberry. We got that speed and attack power from Caramel Arrow. We're going to get the Feather activation on Wildberry, which gives us more damage resistance on our back-end team. Does not look like it's handling against tank-killing teams. So the Sorbet team is still way too powerful against Wildberry. So it looks like if you're running into Wildberry, use Sorbet and Pumpkin Pie. That's going to be your best chances to fight off against it. Granted, Wildberry had 3 million damage here, and that was because of the Feather activation, so got double ricochet power. But even still, we did not take them out. And I bet you, yeah, almost 5 million healing between cotton and herb. So if anything, we'd probably want to run cotton instead of pomegranate cookie. I know pomegranate does get the attack bonuses, which is nice, but I think that pomegranate might be getting pushed out a little bit in certain scenarios because, as you can see, cotton's dealing nearly double the amount of healing than pomegranate is, and our herb is not as powerful as theirs, so it was not anywhere suited to be as strong. So it could have had chances, but I don't know. Is Wildberry worth for PvE? I need Tank Stunner. PvE, let's see. I have not tried Wildberry in PvE except World 14. And I will say that it did not work in World 14. It was good, but it did not do amazing. So if we take, let's say 1328 here and use this team, should work just fine in episode 13. Episode 14, not so much, though. But I'll just show you real quick here what you're going to get if you take Wildberry into Dark Mode World 13. And as you can see, our healing people, they're just absolutely keeping Wildberry as high health as possible. Same with the Watch and the Horn, just protecting on every front. And then all that damage being reflected right back at them. Plus, we're getting the damage resistance of 15% to our entire team from Wildberry. So, Wildberry is going to do really good in PvE, not for Episode 14. Episode 14 is still an absolute beast. I think that we're going to have to see some different team compositions put together for Episode 14 to really be taken out. Now, the next team that we're going to go through, because I'm almost certain we're going to beat this wave, we're going to go ahead and talk about Clotted Cream. So, it took me a lot of effort to get Clotted Cream today. It was definitely not easy. I did get him, not at a 5-star, just at a 0-star with like 9 soul stones to go to get to a 1-star. So, if you guys get Clotted Cream and you get him higher, awesome. I am so happy for you. I did not get that lucky today. Maybe I'll get lucky in the following days, but not today. But as you can see here, Wildberry's still doing absolutely amazing job handling the forefront. We'll show the damage after too. The stuns are super helpful. The damage resistance is super helpful. I definitely think Wildberry is a good cookie to pull for sure. Because as you can see here, everyone else was healing him. Cotton actually did the most damage, funnily enough. But Wildberry still did an amazing job in the entire battle. So overall, super helpful. Definitely think that he's a good addition to the earlier story modes. Episode 14, still quite a battle. So we're going to go into the arena with Clotted Cookie now. So, the two teams that I was thinking were the speed team, but instead of Caramel and Madeline with Eclair and Pomegranate in the back, we're replacing them with Wildberry and Clotted Cookie. And I'll show you why. The other team that we were running was Clotted Cookie instead of Ginger Brave. And so I'll explain why there as well. You got Clotted Cream, but he usually dies first on my main team with testing him. Should I use damage resist instead of raspberries? Here's what I'm using on my Clotted Cream. And it's still not enough. It is still not enough. Night Bob, what do you think about Dark Cacao Bodyguard? You mean crunchy crisp, or what is it? Crunchy chip cookie. Yeah, I want that cookie right now. I want them to release that next. Even if that's pushing aside a legendary cookie, I want crunchy chip cookie. That wolf-like bodyguard is so edgy and so cool. I 100% want that cookie. Definitely. 100%. I don't care if it's a transformation. I don't care if it's like an upgraded wolf. I just want that cookie. So cool looking. Back to Clotted Cream. Definitely running almonds on him. You can kind of work with the Syrian raspberries, the apple jellies, the cooldown toppings to make him do either stronger attacks or faster activations of skills. But honestly, I'm running almonds because I want as much survivability as possible for Clotted Cream. Otherwise, in most times, he just seems to pass too quickly. I mean, I've got him in the back row here. He's almost at the absolute back row, and he's still taking too much damage to survive in most instances. Yes, I don't have him at level 5 or level 60 at a 5-star. That's true. He can go a little bit more, but he's still dying very quickly. So I'm setting him up with almonds, and for that reason, I'm just really hoping that that's the build for him. It could be something else, but that's what seems to work. And I'll show you a couple matches with that. So we're going to rock in to this speed team, or this Caramel Arrow team. It's a classic. They do have an insignia, so it might be a little hard for us, but let's go ahead and trust in our team. Let's see what we got. So as you can see, the skill activations: Kumio, Caramel Arrow, Clotted Cream, Sea Fairy, then Dark Cacao. We hit really hard, really fast. We're going to lose, but Insignia is going to pop us back up in health. That's why we put it on there. We're going to probably lose Kumio next, so it's going to re-heal everyone else again. And we're probably not going to take this unless Caramel Arrow can get like a really big clutch right now. Pomegranate and Herb combined together still do a really good job. And so you can see in this instance, we just couldn't pull it off. Now let's look at the stats of why. Our Caramel Arrow and our Cacao definitely did better damage than their cookies. However, their Eclair did really good, and they were able to take us out a little bit faster. And so that's why they had the win. And the healing, they had healing. We have absolutely no healing. So we're really, really dependent on the fact of just absolutely wiping the floor. Otherwise, we won't have a shot. If Moonlight is next, I mean, I do really, really want Moonlight. So that would be a hard decision to make between Moonlight and Crunchy Chip. They're both amazing. That's a hard decision, to be honest. Attack speed comp is still strong. It is really strong. It is very, very strong. It's hard to find some battles in here that we can probably easily win. Actually, here's a good one. We should 100% take this one out. So we got 2 tanks. Clotted Cream is going to most likely take Hollyberry, push her to the back, which means between the stuns and the front hits, we should be able to take out this middle row. So let's see what happens. So if you watch here, we're going to push through. Clotted Cream's going to activate. Hollyberry's going to shoot to the back, be imprisoned, not be able to resist all that damage coming to the front lines of the team. Absolutely wiped out. Christopher, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. We get one more activation. Hollyberry's pushed to the back again. All of our teams are still alive, and that's with no healers. No healers at all. But just being able to push Hollyberry to the back. Barely had a chance to do everything. Still their strongest attacking dealer, but nonetheless, pushed to the back. And that's what made it really powerful. So not a huge amount of damage coming from Clotted Cream, of course. That's not how we have them set up. We have them set up for survivability. We want that skill to go off. Chun Swan, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. The next Ancient Legendary might be out in July. 2-month period. Yeah, it is usually a 2-month period, and they've been extending things, so I would not be surprised. And July is a fair time. That gives me enough time to save up some crystals between all the missions to where I can get Moonlight if it is a legendary. So I wouldn't be upset about that. Hopefully, if Crunchy Chip is like just a regular epic and not a super epic, hopefully we can get him next update, but we'll see. Try Wildberry Cookie on an attack speed team. I do actually have that. Let me go put that together. So, attack speed team. Let's do Pomegranate instead of Clotted Cream here. And we are going to change this to the Scythe for extra healing power. Alright, so Wildberry, speed comp combination. Here we go. We've got almonds, attack, critical, almonds, chocolate. We are going to push a double tank team and see how we do. I am in the Pure Vanilla server countdown. Yes, I started in February of 2021. So I've been playing for almost 14 months, I believe. So yeah, speed team's rocking through. Wildberry giving that good damage resistance. Healing from the back end from Pomegranate and Herb Cookie. Ricochet damage should be coming through from Wildberry momentarily. Cotton and Pure Vanilla is still doing a really good job of healing on their end. We've lost 2, but it's a tight match for sure. Think we're still going to take it. Definitely was close, though. The reason is Pure Vanilla was able to cast those shields, and we didn't have anything to take off the shields. If we had had Dark Chocolate, Dark Cacao Cookie, we would have been able to remove those shields with ease. Same with Eclair. I mean, they had 2 shield users, so that was a big reason why that took 47 seconds for us to go through. Can heals crit? Yeah, of course heals can crit. I shouldn't say of course. Yes, heals can crit. And actually recently they edited it where poison can now crit too. And so with that in mind, I've actually equipped critical toppings to my poison users now, as you can see here, because poison can now critical damage as well. So that is a new change, and it is confirmed. I've tested it now, and that's amazing that it works because it just draws out even more power. Wildberry seems really, really good. My only problem is Sorbet always defeats double tanks. Sorbet is going to be the bane of Wildberry, for sure. Sorbet is going to be Wildberry's counter, 100%. So Wildberry is not going to be your perfect cookie, but definitely going to be something that's coming up. Is Sea Fairy losing meta? I don't think so. Sea Fairy still works amazingly in the Scam Comp team. So I think Sea Fairy still has quite a lot of power to stick around. But we are seeing a shift where you can run more non-ancients and non-legendary setups and still have great synergies. So it's hard to say who's going to be sticking around, but I think we're slowly getting to a point where we're having a good diversity between many different teams, especially now that we have 5 teams that we can run in the setup. White Monkey Lily Flower, hello, thank you for coming, I appreciate it. Now that we have 5 teams in the setups, we have the ability to set up so many diverse teams. I mean, you can see differently here. Like, they're kind of running the same cookies, but like Summoner team, we've got Double Tank team, we've got the Scam team, this is the Speed Double Tank, and then we've got a T-Knight team. Technically a T-Knight Killer team. But there's so many viable options of different setups and so many different ways to build it all. Still use Sea Fairy, but not the best. Honestly, if you want Sea Fairy to be the best, get the labs upgraded, get the monument upgraded, and run Sea Fairy with the critical toppings. This is how I run Sea Fairy, and she does amazing. I'll show you with the T-Knight team, actually. I still absolutely love the T-Knight team. It only does work against certain instances and metas, and this will be one of them, because this is probably a Scam team right here. So as you can see, we're going to run in. It is a Scam team. The damage resistance gives us just enough time to push through. I think Sea Fairy and Sorbet did get taken out, though. But that's okay, because T-Knight should definitely carry us the whole rest of the way. And he did. Should you summon on Wildberry? I can't really tell you. I would say at least get Wildberry unlocked. You don't have to push for 5-star if you don't want to. 5-star is just to kind of min-max the power levels, but at least get a 1-star. 0-star, yes, it's unlocked. 1-star, you're kind of in a little bit of a power bracket, and you're not terribly too far from 5 stars. So I would say you should at least get it summoned enough to get a 1-star. Summoner team's pretty good. Snow Sugar, underrated. I had a match where I was fighting like 3 healers with the Summoner team, and Snow Sugar did 7.5 million damage because the match lasted so long. I was like, holy moly, we're shooting for 10 million here. And actually, a good example here. So this is a T-Night team, but they're running Caramel Arrow, Eclair, Pomegranate, and Herb. So they've got really good healing. They've got someone to carry them if their people die. However, Snow Sugar and Pomegranate should be able to take out Caramel Arrow and T-Night here. And they've got lower treasures. So I'm actually going to fight this one. I'm pretty confident on this one. So let's see what we get. So everyone's holding their own for the moment. High healing, fast resistance, good damage resistance coming thanks to Wildberry. We absolutely dominated that T-Night team. That could have been the treasures, that could have been toppings. Let's find out with the stats. T-Night did amazing. Their Caramel Arrow might not have any good toppings on there at all, I don't know, but 22 seconds and we did almost 4 million damage between the 5 of them. So it's interesting. Poison, Mushroom Cookie, Anti-Heal now. Yeah, Poison can do really good healing destruction combined with Pumpkin Pie Cookie. The two of them together can do like great anti-healing. There was a team that I made a video a bit ago about them being paired together as an anti-healer team. That team no longer works. I tried it against some of the recent metas. It no longer works, so I'm going to have to rebuild it. But maybe using Wildberry, giving that damage resistance and time for their poison to take effect, could be kind of the way to do it. We'll see. I heard a rumor on like 11 new costumes. If we're getting more chapters of the Cream Republic, I would not be surprised that we'd be getting more costumes. I just hope bonds come with them. But we'll see. We'll see if we can get more costumes. That would be awesome. Like, I'm all in favor of costumes. If they don't come with bonds, I understand, but I would like them to come with bonds. I guess it just really depends. So we got one more team that we can go through. Let's go back and get some more tickets real quick. And I can go through some of the other modes if you guys want, because I do have leftover resources for things like the Cookie Odyssey and the Cookie Alliance. This is actually the new team I put together. I'm not going to go through the full Cookie Alliance. This is just the team I'm going to try running and see how it works. I'll let you guys know. I don't know yet. I just put it together. I haven't tested it. But I do have other resources that I can go into other things if you guys want. 30% damage resist, good enough for a tank. It's good. It's decent. Dark Jar. It's not perfect, obviously. The highest you can get as a almond topping setup is 51%, so you're not far from the top percent. But it's not going to be strong enough to go against critical hits. Critical hits are going to really push through damage resistance, especially with burst crits. So you may still need even more if you're going to be trying to defend with that tank in front. The problem with Frost Queen is that she can't do anything against Caramel. Frost Queen is definitely in a spot that's a little tough in the meta. That Freeze does not do anything against Invulnerability, which is on Madeline, Caramel Arrow, and Milk Cookie. But Clotted Cream now does handle that. It takes away the Invulnerability completely. Doesn't matter who has it. So Clotted Cream is definitely the counter for that reason, but you need to keep Clotted Cream alive. Wildberry or Clotted Cream better? Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know. That's a very tough question. So, well, I'm going to come back to that question. Christopher, you said Wildberry's OP against T-Night because of the stacks. Here's the thing. You can get up to 30 stacks max. In a lot of the battles, I'm getting to like 22, 25 stacks. And it's not shooting out a huge amount of damage. It's a helpful, like, quick one hit that healers can't be ready for. I will say that. But it's not doing enough to where it's like making the difference, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't say that Wildberry is like perfect against T-Knight or like a counter, I think Sorbet and Pumpkin are still a better counter against T-Knight. But Wildberry is amazing. I'm really loving Wildberry. Let's put some other random teams together, though. Let's take apart... I guess we'll take apart this one. So let's go ahead and let's show you guys the absolute wackiest of setups and see what works. So we're going to take Wildberry. We're going to take Blossom. We are going to take Mango. We are going to grab Cream Puff. And we are going to take... Let's see. We'll take Poison. Alright, so the goal here... We are going to go ahead and do kind of a classic treasure setup. So we're going to take Horn, Clock, Scroll. And I don't know if I have toppings on everyone. I do not. I got to put some toppings on Mango. Alright, Mango. Here's where you might be surprised. This is what I want on Mango. Similar situation. Just want all the skills to come from Mango. And I will trust that her damage is enough. Or his damage, I'm sorry. To carry us. So I'm not focused on attack power because our Mango already has enough attack power. Well, let's just roll with that and see what we get. So free refresh, wacky team. Let's go ahead and fight. Let's go ahead and fight this one. Let's see what we get against this one. Alright. So we're going to get a pretty consistent skill activation here. Good damage resistance. Poison sending in the debuff of healing on the other team. Mango and Blossom buffing our attacks. Cream Puff giving us some healing and some very strong overall damage onto the other side. Looks like it's not going to be enough, but definitely gave a heavy fight. But they did have Sorbet and Pumpkin, which... as always, is going to be countering Wildberry because that's that front team healer. But it was actually almost a tie between Poison, Mushroom, and Blossom here as far as beating out the damage. So let's make some adjustments. 06 here. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Wildberry equals decent damage and lives longer. Pretty much. Clotted, more damage but dies quicker. That's a decent way to put it. Yep. Countdown, I think yes, because he's basically an epic, only 6% rare. Yeah, that's... I mean, you can get him in the arena shop, so I don't see why they won't put him into the mileage shop over time. Probably 2 to 3 updates from now. He does die so fast. He does die very fast. I will agree on that. It was a closer fight. Let's make... couple adjustments. So let's take Cotton because we know Cotton's strong. Let's make it a double healer here because we know Blossom and Mushroom are doing really good. So let's go 2 healers and we're going to leave the treasures alone. And we're going to take on a speed team. See what we get. Pomegranate over Mango. That's fair. The attack buffs are definitely higher from Pomegranate, but the damage is pretty good for Mango, I gotta say. So Mushroom did not survive against the speed team. The healing's pretty strong from everyone else, though, keeping Wildberry alive so we can give those punches backwards. And the stuns. Don't think it's going to be enough, though. No, the speed team's still too strong for something like that. We're just putting some wacky teams together to see what we get. I don't mind losing a few trophies to try out stuff. Yeah, Blossom and Wildberry were kind of in competition this time. Poison just did not live long enough to try. But that's okay. Super Epic Soul Stones in Arena Shop because it's not hard to get them. Do you mean like that? Because they already did. They already did put them there. First day. And I already bought one. So, I'm sorry, Nightbob. They already did it. I don't know if it's in your shop right now, but it was in mine today. Like, first thing. So you can get Clotted Cream in the arena shop. But yeah, I don't know. That's their choice. I don't know why they did that. It is what it is. Alright, so that team didn't work. Let's try out some other things. So let's do Clotted Cream. Let's do triple tank. Let's do a triple tank setup. Let's go as much damage resistance as we can get. And then we're going to do... I think we're going to do one healer. So we're going to do Pomegranate because we want that attack buff. We are going to do Insignia, and we are also going to do the Remedy, because Remedy is really great on tanks. So let's see what we can draw out from that. Yes, I'm running peanut toppings on my Hollyberry. Don't judge me. There's a reason. I'll explain that reason another time. Let's give it a shot against a scam team. Why not? Let's see if we can survive the fast push against the scam against our super tank team. If anything, Clotted Cream's about the only one that will die, but we did push Kumio back with the first skill, so that's really helpful. We might actually take this. We do actually take this. Look at that. We did have higher treasure levels, in fairness, so I mean, that's not a perfect comparison, to be fair, but we only lost Clotted Cream. Everyone else survived. And Wildberry just absolutely dominated the damage field on that. All that stacks of damage just punched right back at him. I know, nobody uses HP toppings. All right, let me explain HP toppings. They're very strange. Okay, so Hollyberry, let's actually go to Hollyberry. Hollyberry right here. If you go here, base health that I have her at, 192,000 HP. With these HP toppings, it is 270,000 HP. Not double, getting there, about 50%, which our HP is about 50%, so it scales up very nicely. So the HP is very specific because right now most of the cookies have this cap of 300,000 damage as that cap that they can do of HP relevant damage. So if you go above 300,000 HP, you're exceeding the cap. So that's interesting to start. But peanut toppings, I don't have them perfect yet because I need to grind out more. If you don't have damage resistance and you don't have defense and HP, peanut toppings are not going to be that great. Because if you give me double HP but no damage resistance, I'm still going to die very quickly. Where if you give me 50% damage resistance and half the HP, I'll still be able to live out through some of the attacks. But if you give me HP and damage resistance and defense, I will lower the attacks, and I have such a high health pool that it will take forever to get through. Absolutely forever. I'm going to read through some of the comments though real quick so I don't miss what you guys are saying. To be honest, Clotted Cream is only 6% rare. Yes, that's true. In the normal story mode, it said that Clotted Cream is a custard descendant. That is correct, Grandma. I went through, what is it? I went through almost to day 3. Yeah, I'm on day 2. No, I'm on day 3 right now. So in the story mode, I think it's in day 2 that they said it, is the descendants. No, that was actually in day 1. The descendants of custard. So we might get some very lineage lore kind of interesting facts coming through. I'm interested to see what day 5 is going to provide. Super epic is rarer than ancient. I mean, it's hard to get compared to ancient, but at least there's multiple ways. You can get missions to do it. You can get it in regular gacha. It seems really hard to get the super epics, but the ancients, I tell you, man, they are so difficult to get sometimes. I've been playing 14 months, and I don't have any 5-star ancients. They're so hard to get. So hard. Scroll, stopwatch, insomnia? Do you mean insignia? Because insomnia is what we all have. Joking. I'm pretty sure you mean insignia. HP-related teams in the future? Oh, yeah. I'm sure peanut toppings are going to make a steal in the future. Same with hazelnut, because the more that we get critical damage teams and critical attacking teams, the more that we need critical resistance, which are going to be specifically on hazelnut toppings. So yeah, I could definitely see that coming through. You haven't reached 25% yet. I am what's considered a whale. I spend money on the game. I don't really want to disclose how much right now, but just know that money has been spent, and you can only do so many daily missions. But as far as the quills, I have a bunch of them, and I can go through a bunch of these missions. That's the only way I've gone through this at a faster pace than some of the other players. We'll just leave it at that. Back to the arena, though. We are going to play some meta teams real quick. So, one of my other favorite ones. I mean, let's go back to the summoners. I really, really enjoy the power of the summoners. Except against this because it's a Kumio scam, so we are going to take a T-Knight team for this. Tips for a mid-game player. Mid-game player, max out your treasures. If you do summons, you get free mileage. Max out your treasures as soon as you can, as fast as you can. Maxed out treasures have the ability to be useful for every team build, no matter what your team is, where if you max out a specific cookie, that is your team, and you do not have the flexibility to move around. You do not have the flexibility to change your decision, where if you max out a treasure, like a scroll, an insignia, a feather, whatever it is, you get those maxed out, you can use those on every single team. So if you get free mileage, if you get the chances, get treasure tickets, do those. I like to pull treasure tickets when I have like 100, but if you can't wait that long, that's fine. But I definitely say for mid player, max out your treasures as soon as possible. Unfunny honeybee message retracted. I'm just gonna assume that wasn't an appropriate message. Okay, you're free to play. Okay, well that's awesome. I respect all free to play players. I wanted to be free to play, and then the first month I played, I got the Kingdom Pass, and I'm like, what's $5 a month? And I did $5 every month for Kingdom Pass, and then at about month 9, I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend more money on this game because I've already spent $70 and I'm really enjoying it every single day. So I just started doing more. Should I save my EXP? I'm able to get a level 1 cookie to 50 for Dark Cacao. Or right now, Dark Cacao is a massive presence in the meta. I don't see Dark Cacao moving out of meta for quite a while. He is pretty much dwarfed Pure Vanilla in most scenarios. So I would say that if you can save your XP for Dark Cacao, that would be a pretty wise investment. Yes. The only benefits to being the whale is getting better gacha rewards. So, Grandma, here's the funny thing. I did a good chunk of change today, and it took way too many summons to get one copy of Clotted Cream. The luck really still is there. You could still spend a bunch of money and have horrible luck. And honestly, I think, I can't prove this, but I think because I own every single cookie and I have them all in the 5-star ranges and have almost all of them in the max level ranges, I think my luck is hugely drawn down in comparison to some other players and how they get the draws. So I wouldn't say that there's huge benefits to being a whale player. You're just giving yourself a little more guarantee to be maybe getting something quicker than other people. But I only do that for the sake that I get the tests done so that you guys have the best information, most accurate information, how to run these teams, so that way you don't feel like you're wasting investments. Let's see. I ship Pure Vanilla and Dark Cacao. That's a good ship, but what about White Lily, man? Like, White Lily, we need redemption. Minor spelling mistake. Okay, that's fair. You can still be free to play since Dev Sisters are... That's the thing. That's the biggest reason I love this game and why I continued to play and started playing, was because how generous Dev Sisters are and how much they give. It's because of that I actually enjoyed playing this every single day, because I felt really rewarded for just playing the game. So I really love Dev Sisters for that reason. You can't get 250 rolls on Nether Gotcha if you're free to play. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'll give you that. The pity ancients are not there. You just have to rely on the luck. Anyways, to get star jellies, because I'm out of searing keys. Oh, star jelly grinding is so hard. I've made a video on that. Honestly, that's going to be my best recommendation, is if you check that one out, because there's so much to cover on grinding star jellies. Then you're really lucky you got them. Yeah, my wife, who barely plays the game, jumped in, did a 1 pull, and got Dark Cacao full on the first try. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I can't even believe you. Let's see. Can you join I am actually joining the Whisk Takers Guild tomorrow. I'm in mid-transition right now. So funnily enough, what you're seeing today with all these battles and these fights is me with no guild buffs. I have absolutely no guild buffs whatsoever. My cookies are not buffed. My attacks are not buffed. Nothing is buffed. I have no guild buffs because I have no guild right now. But tomorrow I will be in the Whisk Takers Guild. I was graciously approved to be with them, and I will be joining the data heads there and conjuring up all the best things I can find within the game and the data, and figure out all the spiciest combinations, whether it be wolf cookie or fig cookie or whoever it be. We'll figure it out. We'll find ways to make them all fun. Coming from Genshin, this game is overly generous. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. You could get it with Frost Queen. Gotcha. Yeah, Frost Queen. It was that was a legendary though, not an ancient. So they were a little bit more generous on the legendaries. Okay, so I appreciate the guild invite though. I really do. I really, really, truly appreciate that. Let's do a couple fights. Let's see what we can beat. All right. If they want to play with a funny team, this is a T-Knight team for sure. Let's punish them for doing so. Let's make them regret the T-Knight team. All right, let's see. Yep. Classic. Hoping to get all buffs, all speed, all attack power. Problem is, all that's going to just jump right into Wildberry while everyone else is just pushing the damage through. I gotta say, they leveled those cookies good. That's impressive. But I've got enough bodies on the field to make sure that he will not push through. Level 38 and 80 guild relics. So the last guild that I was in, we were a level 51 guild, and we had all 90 relics within the first 2 weeks. And I know the Whisk Takers have a much higher level than that. So you're getting there for sure. Once you get all 90 relics, you'll have some really fun guild buffs, especially in guild battle, for sure. Level 60 rares. Yeah, I mean, they aren't weak. Like, everyone thinks the rare cookies are weak. You know what? Here, I'll show you some fun stuff. Let's build a crazy team. We're going to use Wildberry, Adventure Cookie, Onion Cookie. We're going to do Ginger Brave, and we're going to do Sea Fairy. We're going to take Scroll. We're going to take... I believe we're going to go ahead and do Defense here and Insignia. And then I do believe we have to put toppings on... Yeah, we're gonna move over some toppings onto Onion Cookie real quick. So let's go to Onion Cookie. We're gonna steal the attacked caramel toppings from Caramel Arrow because they aren't being used right now. You're gonna think I'm crazy here, but Onion Cookie's like the mini Sea Fairy. If you get attack speed, you can build up the fear counters. And it makes for an interesting build. For this, though, we're going to fight someone that's not in PvE, because I have absolutely no idea how this is going to work. So we'll take someone with a little lower treasure levels, but pretty meta team. Let's see if we can make it fair. People did use Cherry before Seafarer, that's correct. So you can see the stacks here. We get the first one on Onion Cookie, it's 1. Hopefully we can build up before the second activation. It's going to take time. Onion Cookie's not going to survive. Way too much damage coming from the other side of the team. But that insignia gives us that chance. Look at that one hit. Like, this is the One Punch Man of cookies. I love it. Yeah, nobody else had a chance. Onion Cookie, I want to max Onion Cookie out. I want to get a full setup, like an almond caramel attack speed kind of combination, because that Fear Scream, when you get up to 10 stacks, it's so powerful. It's so good. If you haven't seen it already, I did one onion to rule them all a couple, like 3 or 4 videos ago. Onion Cookie was showcased there, just solo. You should watch it. It's really funny. The leveled rares are useful on Chaos Tower. They're useful on a lot of things. I really think that they pose some interesting combinations that we just have not figured out yet. Gabriel. Hi, Cinnamon. Thanks for all your CRK content. Great stuff. Thank you so much, Gabriel. I try to make something every day for you guys. I want to make sure that you guys are informed, that you guys have all the information that you need. I want to make sure that you guys are enjoying the game and having fun. That is my major goal. Between everything else, that is the biggest goal I have. Never heard of the channel and got here by coincidence. Loving it so far. Well, thank you, Seth. I super duper appreciate it. Thank you. I really do. Once we get up to 1,000 subscribers, we will start doing Kingdom Pass giveaways. So whether you want to be a free-to-play player or a whale or not, you have a chance to start being like a dolphin, I guess it's called, like the mini spenders. Even though you wouldn't be spending, because once I do get to 1,000 subscribers, I am going to start doing 5 Kingdom Pass giveaways. So if you want to let your friends know, if anyone is interested and they want more content through here, I will reward people for watching. I A, want you to get better by the information, but B, for you taking the time to watch me and for you taking the time to support me, I want to support you guys too. I can only do 5 Kingdom Passes a month. It's really hard to do much more than that. And I'll keep it random and I'll make it fair. But it is something I do want to do. 1330. Yeah, 1330. I got the team for 1330. 1330. That's not the team. That's the team for 1330. Run that. Not that. Hold on. Jeez, if I can select the right thing. That's the team for 1330. Pumpkin Pie is going to be the one that's being attacked. Everyone else is going to heal everything like crazy. This is going to be the team that gets you through. You may need to get some really good toppings to get this going. You probably will have to do some lab upgrades and things like that. But this is the team I recommend for 1330 for sure. Low viewers, but the content I enjoy, not gonna lie. Hanako, thank you. Honestly, just the less people that know about the channel, the lower the views are gonna be. That's just how it is. I'm definitely working on getting it higher. It's not easy for sure, but I am trying. I'm definitely trying. Everyone else is level 50 though. You still might be able to do it, Christopher, if you have these cookies. You still may be able to. Do you know what's up with the new arena tier? Ah, yes. Grandmaster tier. Great question. Grandmaster tier. Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3. So if you pass the top 1% and get 3,000 trophies, and within the top 5%, you will now get 1,000 cubes, 25,000 gems, and 2,500 trophies of the arena trophies. If you can make it to the top 200 players, you get 2,000 cubes and 27,000 gems. And the top 30 players can get 3,000 cubes and 30,000 gems. So that's the new tiers that you can get to. The amazing part is these tiers make it so that climbing these tiers right here are much easier. Way easier. All the adjustments that they did. Climbing these tiers are a little bit harder, but actually a little more manageable because some of these guys are way out of push that you probably don't have to deal with them now. So you should be able to get into the Master 3, Master 2 a little bit easier in the next seasons. Maybe even this season currently. When tomorrow I'm in the guild and the guild buffs are active, I'm going to be spending all my mileage to push into the arena, which is about the equivalent of 200 tickets. So I'm going to spend 200 arena tickets tomorrow to get to Grandmaster. But I want to wait for my guild buffs because until the guild buffs are there, I'm fighting a little bit uphill battle because I have less buffs than almost everyone in the top percentages have, which is being in a guild. And so those buffs really make a difference. And so that's what I'm going to wait for tomorrow to make big pushes. I didn't mind playing Arena with you guys tonight because I wanted you to see some of the possibilities. But yeah, I'm not pushing until those buffs are there, and then I will go absolutely full steam. Grandmaster event, yeah, that's I think that's the event that's going on right now, right? Let's check it out. Path to Victory. I love this right here. You get 40,000 points and you get 500 level 8 star jellies. Like, this right here is the most amazing reward I've ever seen. Not to mention up here you get like 100 cutters. So this is insanity. Like, I cannot wait to climb this. It's not retroactive, so you have to climb new ranks. But the moment that PvP season restarts in 14 days, I'm sure that I'm just going to absolutely blast through to climb on this because this is amazing rewards. 10,000 cubes, 80,000 gems. Like, if there was ever an event that made me love Dev Sisters, this is it. 100% this is it. I can't wait to see what this entails. Hopefully I can climb to Grandmaster 1 or 2 to maybe get some of these rewards this season. But you got to climb up the paths to get there. So we'll see what that entails. All right, well, it's 10:27 right now. I am going to be turning in for the night. I really, really appreciate everyone that stopped by, that hung out, gave me some great feedback, some great questions. I know some of your questions weren't answered tonight. I apologize. I do have quite a lot of videos that explain probably half of the questions that were asked here today, so I would at least recommend giving them a check out, so that way, if you do have questions, maybe some of the stuff I've covered might already answer it. But I just appreciate everyone that came out tonight, truly. I'll answer one more question just because it caught my eye. The best toppings for caramel arrow, my personal opinion, is the critical jellies. But if you don't have the monuments leveled up and the labs leveled up, probably caramel or searing, just because of the different powers and speeds. But yet again, thank you so much for stopping by. Truly going off for the night now. I'll have another video out for tomorrow, so you can look forward to that. And more in-depth training, more in-depth talk, probably covering Clotted Cream specifically. We'll see what I can figure out and what I can discover tonight. Thank you so much for stopping by. You guys have a wonderful night.